Well, welcome back to the show, and I've got Alan Howard with us today from the fire department. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's race time. We always like this time in Bristol. Just the weather and the track and the excitement. But there also comes some safety with that too. So what does the fire department do in preparation for the weekend?
Well, obviously with the many people who come into town for the race, you know, there's extra staffing, not only at the fire department, but throughout the city, the police department, public works, everybody, you know, has a long week of working. But we're glad to have the people in town and glad for the race to come to town. But today we'll talk about just a few safety things, especially in the campground. Yeah. Carbon monoxide is an issue in the campgrounds, whether you're camping at a race or camping 4th of July weekend or whenever. If you're using a generator especially, you have to be very careful with those because a lot of generators make noise, and so you want to push them away from your camper, and then the next thing you know,
someone else's.
The next thing you know, you've got the exhaust turned around, you're shooting it in your neighbor's camper, which can cause a problem. So one of the big things is just where you position your generator. If you're using a mobile one, you know, get it as far away from possible from your camper and your neighbor's camper, and you know, everybody, your neighbors for a week or however long you're camping. So, you know, get to know each other and get along, and make sure that your generators aren't aiming exhaust at each other. Another thing, especially if you're in a grassy campground, is if there's any tall grass or anything, try not to get the generator in there because the exhaust could start a fire.
Now, do you all go through and sort of patrol the campgrounds right by the track, and just to make sure if you see somebody's generator that might be placed in a dangerous situation, you can?
We have ATV units that are staffed for both fire and medical problems, and they'll go through the campgrounds, and if they should see something like that, yeah, they could stop and notice, but they're there for response for either fire or EMS problems. The generators are the big thing. Another thing, especially this time of year, it may be the first time you've had your camper out. You have a gas stove, gas oven, gas hot water heater. You know, check those out. Bees like to build a nest in those, and that can cause some exhaust problems. One thing to make sure on your gas appliances that use natural gas or propane is make sure you have a clear blue flame. They should burn clean, shouldn't have any odor, no red flame or yellow flame. If you have something like that, you should turn it off and have someone come out and check those. And as long as we're talking about carbon monoxide, if you don't know the symptoms, some of them are dizziness, vomiting, nausea, a real bad headache, and some confusion. So if you're camping or in a campground and start having any of those symptoms, you should turn off your gas appliances, hot water heater, stove, your generator, open doors, and get outdoors and get some fresh air. And if you're feeling bad, go ahead and call 911, and someone will come out and check you and make sure everything's okay. And anytime, even if it's cold, leave a window cracked or the roof vent in your camper open a little bit just to let some air circulate through the camper and make sure that everything's okay.
Some great tips and things to think about, especially because I do think this is sort of the big kickoff race for a lot of people, and when the campers have been sitting all winter long, oftentimes, you know, these things need to be revisited and checked out. Are we missing anything or anything you want to add?
Other than camping, just a few general things. Food preparation, make sure your food's, you know, cooled and heated properly. You know, don't get food poisoning. You know, that ruin your race weekend there.
Yes, absolutely. We don't want that.
One thing also, if you're in a group or a family, should you get separated beforehand, have a meeting place. You know, if we get separated, we'll meet at gate 10 or you know, gate 6. And one of the, maybe seems obvious, but know where you parked. I mean, I could lose my car in the mall parking lot, you know, and we have acres upon acres of parking here. So know where you parked, pay attention. I know the bridges at the racetrack are color coded. They have the red bridge and the orange bridge. So when you cross that bridge, get on track property.
I take photos of where I park now with my phone.
So, you know, if you can lose your car in the mall, you can definitely lose it in the acres and acres of parking around the track. So just remember where you parked and have a meeting place, so if you do get separated from your group, everybody will know where to meet back. And just remember sunscreen and limit your alcohol consumption, drink plenty of water, and everybody have a good time.
Yeah, that's great. All righty. Well, thank you for being with us, and thanks for watching. We'll be right back.